Hi, Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is going to be your general reading for December 2022. These are the last readings I will be doing for the year of 2022. They are late. I've had some technical difficulties. I have a new camera. It's crystal clear. It's great. It's got some good autofocus. The zoom doesn't work on Mac. I tried using it on my old Lenovo, but the quality of the video, I don't know if it's the computer or what, but the coloring was off. I couldn't fix it, so I was jerking around with that for a couple of days. Anyway, here we are, and I have with me the Radiant White deck. I have, of course, the La Vida Sibila. Now, if you happen to be Moon and Rising, either Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, or Pisces, you will see that I pulled something called the Archetype type cards. But my guides were not pleased with those cards, and they said don't use any more of them. So from Aries on, I have not used them. And so if you don't see them, well, you're not going to see them, and that's the reason why I was told not to continue to use them. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the reading. I've already done a bit of meditation and shuffling on your sign and glyph. You did have a card come out. Let me turn the camera around. Isn't the quality better? And you had the reverse Wheel of Fortune come out. Okay, that's the first thing. So I'm going to just do a bit more shuffling and put another rifle. I want to make sure that I'm getting them all right together. I think I've got some of them upside down. I'm not sure. Okay. And one more shuffle. And we'll lay the rest of the cards. I hope everyone had a great Turkey Day. I really do. We had a quiet one. Not a whole lot happened. It's just me and Hannah, you know. All right, here we go. Who, by the way, got her driver's license, and her car is going to be ready from the mechanic, if not this weekend, by the middle of next week. But she's been driving my car. Matter of fact, she just drove herself to a birthday party. A friend's having a birthday party. So, fingers crossed, no bad news. 9 of Swords. So something has changed for you in a major way. But look, there's the 9 of Cups. That's funny. There is your card, the Hierophant. Okay. There is the Emperor. Now, the Emperor's been coming out in almost every single reading, but I feel that for some of you, this is the transit of Mars through Gemini. I think he's retrograde at the moment, and this is going to be an extremely long transit of Mars through Gemini. All right. The 8 of Wands. Oh, look, I've got 2 9s right there. Next row or last row, the let me slide them over a little bit. The Page of Cups. Well, dang it, the 10 of Swords, Taurus, and then the Chariot. I don't know what the hell's going on here. So, these are my only 2, oh no, I've got 2 10s here. The Wheel of Fortune is a 10. So what do I have? I have 2 swords, 2 cups, a wand, and 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcana. So this is some type of spiritual lesson for you. That's what the major arcana cards represent. Spiritual lessons, how we can spiritually evolve or move up to the next level, so to speak. And what is over the entire reading? Well, it is the King of Cups. So, this reading is going to apply whether you are male or female, or you take the male role or you take the female role, whether this is heterosexual or same-sex. All right? It's all going to be the same because we all got the same problems. So, let's start off. And you know, there's something else that I find interesting is that we go 4, 5, and then we go up to 7, 8, 9, and 10s, and the page himself is an 11. Okay, but we don't necessarily count that as a number. And so right in the center, we have the Emperor. The Emperor is the father archetype of the in the tarot. So say, for instance, this could be a father-like figure. He could be a stepdad. He could be the dad of your kids. He could be an uncle who's like a father figure. He can also be like a coach or someone who gives rather good advice. You know, these two characters kind of do the same thing in a sense, only his information is supposed to come from a higher source. This guy's information that he tends to give is based upon a life experience. The Emperor speaks about worldly matter, not worldly matter, yeah, worldly matter in the sense of the third dimension. It is a 4. It talks about stable foundations. And he's kind of given the side eye to this Hierophant here. I don't know if you'll be able to see this with my new camera. I'm going to put it up there. But he's kind of giving him the side eye. Can you see that? He's kind of giving him the side eye there. So, as if to say, you know, whatever he's saying don't make no damn sense. All right. There is this, what do you call it? This underlying theme of 3. I have 3 people here. The autofocus didn't come in. Let's see if I can get it to. It just kind of went out, didn't it? Let's see if it'll bring itself back. What the hell? I don't know. I might have moved something. Let me see, because the autofocus just completely went to shit. I don't know. Let me see if I can pull up these camera settings that don't seem to work. Whatchamacall should be shot. The Logitech people, they know people need cameras nowadays because everybody's either working from home, but they don't have any software that goes along with the reading. So let me see if I can. I don't know why it all of a sudden just got blurry. It did. Let me stop it and come back so you can see, because it just completely lost the focus. Let me see here. Okay, let me stop it. Okay, so let's try that again. There's the focus. It's just acting kind of weird. So that's what I said when I've been having technical issues. It's been doing weird things. And there's a software program that comes with it, but it doesn't really work. It doesn't work on the Mac. It doesn't really work on the, what do you call it, on the old Windows thing either. But anyway, to make a long story short, as I was saying, he's looking at this Hierophant here as if what he's saying doesn't make any sense to him. But also, as I was saying, there's a theme of 3 here. I have 3 people. Come on, autofocus. Oh, this is ridiculous. There we go. And there's 3 people here in this card, and then there's 3 figures here. So there's underlying theme of 3. Sometimes this page can represent a child, someone between the ages of 0 to 18. So a newborn up to 18 years of age. But for those of you who've been with me for a while, you know this is simply news and messages, some kind of emotional quality to the news. So something has changed for you in a major way, and it's got you very worried. And this idea that whatever it is that you've been, I don't know, wishing for or hoping for, or you think is not necessarily due you, but a reward, that something that you really have wanted, that you're not going to get it. Now, the Hierophant is a 5, and he does speak to higher learning or higher knowledge. He speaks to, if there's a work issue, it talks about working for someone under a hierarchical structure. So it would be like hospitals and universities. But sometimes he also just simply means contractual agreements. Now, he does represent Venus. Venus is your ruler. So Venus is about right relationships. It is about fairness and beauty and harmony. But it also covers contracts. in order to get somebody to come along with you to do something, you have to make it beautiful and attractive to them. You know, what's in it for them to make it palatable. So I'm kind of at odds with these two cards, because he's looking at him saying, you know, what she's saying not making any sense. But then we see this trip or travel. Now, usually this card is in connection, travel in connection with work or career, but it's also an 8. And so sometimes it can indicate that there may be some kind of obstacle or hassle or delay, but that it would be something that slows you up for a short time period. Because usually when this card shows up, when it presents itself in a reading, it says, you know, to hang on, because things are about to start moving pretty quickly. Whenever I see this card, usually it's within like 8, I'm going to say 8 days, okay, to 8 weeks. This actually 8 days, because the swords represent weeks, okay? But we see the message comes in. And then right in the center between the 9 and the 10 card tells me that the crisis point has been reached. The next step up in this suit, we return back to the ace. So I don't know if this is someone feels as though they've been stabbed in the back, or they've been betrayed, or they've been ambushed, or if someone is just like, you know, I can't anymore. Nevertheless, we do see the Chariot card here. And the Chariot card speaks, it's a 7. And 7s are always moments of pause and reflection before moving on to the next stage. So the Chariot card, it represents Cancer, so it has to do with home, with family, the way that you nurture, how do you love, and how do you need to be loved. It can speak to women and children, genetics, heredity, property or land. But it also has this connotation of the moon. He's got the moon on his shoulders. So this could be between the next 2 quarter moons. I know we do have a full moon coming up on the 7th of December. But the card says, if you can keep your emotions in check, you can literally drive this chariot. So you can see he doesn't have any reins to drive that chariot. So he's doing it by sheer will and determination, and by keeping his emotions in check. You know, the chariot, in real life, a chariot was a battle vehicle. It wasn't a smooth ride. It wasn't like riding in a Rolls Royce or a BMW. It was bumpy. It was dirty. It was long. It was across open fields. You had no cover, right? Nothing to protect you from the elements. But yet, people got to where they wanted to go. A dangerous ride. So, I think the whole idea about keeping your emotions in check, you know, you can't, when you're in that kind of a vehicle, you're in that kind of environment, you can't like panic, you can't give up, you have to just keep going. And so this to me is what the Chariot is saying. It's saying that despite whatever we're seeing here, eventually the situation will move, you will get a chance to go where you want. Now, 2 9s. Sometimes 2 9s can indicate that one of you needs to spend more time alone, but 2 9s can also be an indication of a change of address or house move, okay? 2 10s can indicate the end of a relationship or phase in a relationship, but it can also be an indication of a career change and financial change for the better. Now, I don't have any pentacles here, right? So to me, it's not necessarily a financial issue, or it's the way that you've been doing something or what it is you've been doing. It's mostly thoughts and emotions. Even this card. Okay, this is an earth, this is a fire, this is a fire card, this is a water card. And so over the whole reading, we have the King of Cups. Well, the King of Cups can be the most important man in your life, okay? He can also be a lawyer or a counselor. And it can also be you, even if you are female. It's saying that you're going to need to balance your emotions as we go out. This is in the male sense, you are in control of your emotions. You're not like the ship behind them all at sea, okay? So, since this is news, and this is sometimes news too, sometimes this shows up as the arrows of love. Basically, I just say that if you've been waiting on a message, a phone call, a text, an email, it's going to be coming in quite soon, and we see it here. So, I'm going to look at this reversed Wheel of Fortune for you to give you a few keywords here. My book's way over here. No, that's a wrong book. Hold on. And you guys give me 1 second. I've got something on the stove that I need to go turn off. I'll be right back, okay? Right back. Yep. Buzzer, the timer went off. Just in time. Okay. Well, I timed that pretty perfectly. I got there before the timer went off. Okay, so we're looking at this reversed Wheel of Fortune to kind of see what energy is, and sometimes these two cards together can mean like someone taking a flight and then having to take a vehicle, a car. So I don't know if this is about a trip that you've taken recently, because we're looking at past, present, future with the interplay of the cards. So let me see here. We're talking about the Wheel of Fortune reversed. Speaks to misfortune, pessimism, bad luck, uncertainty, and a decline. And when I say decline, it just means a decline in a matter or a situation. You know, we can't always be up, right? Sometimes we have to be down. So it says that you may find changes occurring in one area of your life has a negative effect on another area. So in order to identify which areas may suffer, it says the other cards will tell me. Well, I don't know, like I said, if this is a marriage, if it's a relationship, if there's kids involved, if there's travel, I'm not exactly sure. So it can indicate bad luck, misfortune, and that events are out of your control. It may also signify that leaving things to chance may be damaging. But it also tells you not to feel sorry for yourself. You are given an opportunity to change things to your liking, so look for new opportunities. Everything happens for a reason, and the changes to come could be exactly what you need to kickstart you along a more positive and auspicious path. That's why I say, whatever this thing is, and I do get the sense that that's a person. He could be a boss, a coach. I'm not picking up the kind of energy, that how he's showing up, but that's part of it. But whatever this thing is, either he's worried or you're worried about him, and then the situation escalates to the point where it's just like, you know what? I can't even anymore, so I'm going to get going. Okay? It also tells you, the reverse Wheel of Fortune, to make your plans minimal, because they're going to be changed. They're going to have to be changed. And to me, that's a reversal. I don't know if you can see that. But it also warns you that you may be allowing others to have too strong an influence in your life. Right here. Okay? It's almost, to me, it feels as though you've gotten information from someone or advice from someone, and they gave it to you in a gentle manner. But this guy's saying, you know, what he's saying don't make no damn sense. Don't listen to him. Remember, that's the first thing I said. So I think these people are at odds with each other, okay? And that's all that the reverse Wheel of Fortune kind of tells us. So what we're going to do, we've only got one court card in this reading. So we're going to take a look to see what additional messages we have from the 9 of Swords and Cups, the 8 of Wands, and the 10 of Swords as they relate to these 4 cards, okay? These 4 major arcana. We're going to take them in the order that they fell. We come with the 9 of Swords here. Now, it tells of a preoccupation with past experiences, particularly those of a painful or hurtful nature. It suggests anxiety and worry about what others think and say about you is keeping your mind in a negative state, and you are encouraged to rest and still the mind. It indicates a fear of the future and an inability to relax. So remember, I said, first thing I said was something changed, and you fear that you're not going to get whatever it is that you want to get. Okay? It speaks of guilt, sorrow, feelings of guilt, sorrow, and confusion. It says your fears may be ungrounded, but they can nevertheless prevent you from enjoying your life to the fullest. Sometimes the fears that are derived come from a deep-rooted guilt, which is the most crippling of emotions. The Nine of Cups never tells me anything except, you know, it's the wish card. That's all it ever tells me. So we're going to move to the Eight of Wands. And like I said, I think it's kind of a rinky-dink kind of card, but it does have its place. The card, the deck is structured in such a way that it has its place. You know, it's sort of like every animal in the animal kingdom has a job. It has a place. All right, so Eight of Wands. Let's see here. Nothing next to any of these cards. Okay. But I've already given you the information that you need about it. Indicates that your goals are within reach. It indicates that you may be faced with obstacles and hindrances on all sides, that you may be facing inner turmoil, struggles, and confusion, but you are going to need to remain alert and adaptable in order to see your way through at this time. It indicates lots of movement, be it traveling or even moving residence. Remember, I gave you those two things. Okay? It tells of a need to reach the goals that you have set for yourself, so check that they are viable and realistic so as not to disappoint yourself unduly. That makes perfect sense to me. And then the Ten of Swords. And you know, the Ten of Swords and the Nine, those two energies are very difficult sometimes to come out of. And I don't know if this is the way you are feeling, but this is how you're projecting yourself out, like everything is A-okay, when it may not be. Okay? Don't know. The Ten of Swords. Here it is. Quite interesting. It implies that it is difficult to understand or comprehend how and why things have happened and turned out as they have. I just think something changed suddenly. And you got the news. It's a reversal. Not necessarily a reversal of fortune. Simply a reversal. But it came through news or messages. And when I say that this is message with an emotional quotient, that's what I mean. We see it here. Okay. Now there's something I want to take a look at with this Hierophant here, because he's trying to tell me something else. Here, it says that you may be striving to find the truth and make sense of the changes in your life. Well, sometimes, now this is interesting. I never knew this. Is often as I put this book together, sometimes I miss stuff. It represents the sign of Taurus, but also Aries. Here we have a double Aries here. So the card says that sometimes, hold on. The card can cover feelings of insecurity and inadequacy. And it also has attributes to wars, arguments, fights, endurance, resourcefulness, courage, assertion, daring, and competition. It's a 5, so that's true. Conquest and winning is most important to the Hierophant. Now, you would think that that would come with that card, right? But it doesn't. It comes with the Hierophant. And the Hierophant indicates that it is most important to retain your inner balance so that you can rely upon yourself. It can indicate a connection to a position or figure of authority and could suggest that there's an opportunity to take control over others. It may be indicating that this is a time when new opportunities will present themselves. If these opportunities have solid foundations, they should bring success. It tells you to act without delay, but allow for change and be willing to adapt accordingly. Okay? That's what that says. So, what I want to know is what has changed. And I normally don't pull cards on the on major arcana, but in this case, you know, because they're kind of self-explanatory in the sense. We know that something has changed. It changed in a major way. And you are struggling trying to figure out why or how it did happen in the way that it did. So I don't know if this is a breakup, a separation, if you got fired from your job. You know, it's not giving me a whole bunch of information here. But there's definite movement here. Superbia. Amore. And the sacerdote. Now, Superbia is one of two cards that offer extreme protection. Almost kind of like this card, the Wheel of Fortune, can offer protection sometimes. Okay. But it also is a card that has to do with vanity, maybe people who are concerned about their looks. It's kind of a card, it doesn't, it's more of an intensifier like it is here with the Amore card. The Amore card is an intensifier. It says that things kind of change, they're in transition, it's transitory. Maybe things looked better than they were, right? And then we see the sacerdote. Now, the sacerdote is a male figure. He is somewhat the priest, like another priest. So someone in whom we can confide in and or trust. But in this case, you see, he can hide things in the fold of his coat. Back in the old days, these guys had mistresses. They had, kids. They drank. They did drugs. They gambled. And he's also pointing his finger back this way to these two cards. Now, normally he would represent the King of Swords, so he has something also to do with the law. So he could be a prosecutor, a lawyer, not a police officer, but someone who deals in the law or is knowledgeable and skilled in that. He can sometimes indicate lawsuits, okay? And then I'm going to look at, there's something about this particular situation. I think this individual has changed their mind. That's what I think. I want to look at, turn that over. I'm going to look at this Emperor, okay? For some of you, this may be like your ex-husband, your ex-baby daddy. I don't know. All right. The Bambino. Again, it's a transitory card. It speaks about a new condition, one that has not come into existence yet, but it's trying to form. The Doctore. Someone who can help. There's a lot of men here. Okay. He always has a degree, but his degree can be in anything. Okay. He comes out as a helper card. So this may be you have to go get advice from someone. Remember I was saying he's looking at this card going, you know what? This guy, his advice is not good. And the L'Amica, the friend. Now that's quite interesting. This person could be anybody. Maybe this is you. Maybe you're the friend to this guy and this guy and this guy and that guy. Okay. But usually this is, it's a kind of a neutral card. It also can speak about being introduced to someone through a friend. This person always tries to, in a sense, kind of help. Can talk about even visiting someone in their home. Okay. It's kind of a strange reading because I can't really quite figure out what's going on. But from all the circumstances and facts that I can pull out of this reading, something changed. It changed in a major way. Maybe some of you, and when I say, for some of you, this may have already started. For some of you, this could come up in the middle of December. For others of you, this can go all the way out into January. But I see here that something coming. I'm saying 8 days. So in 8 days, there's going to be some kind of news coming. Okay? It definitely has to do with your hopes, wishes, and dreams. And I just am not, I can't really say exactly what this is all about or what this guy, I think this is the energy that you're going to have to take. You're going to have to really, I think one of the things said, like the Emperor, you're really going to have to balance yourself out so that you can, make the best decision for yourself, okay? You're going to need your strength and energy for whatever this is. But nevertheless, I see that the situation comes to a head quickly, and then you're able to move on, all right? For some of you, quicker than others. So, formulate your question for the Golden Nostradamus. Quite interesting. There's a lot of people. Remember I said there's like 3 people? There's hint of 3. We have 1, 2, 3 here. Okay. Well, it is the cherries. Okay. And the cherries say, he who believes everything with ease will often be seen, reddened, and teased. Perhaps you were too trusting and not worldly enough. Look carefully within or in those around you to separate the illusions from the truths that you need. Maybe somebody's been drinking. Okay. All this water energy here in the spread. But I think it has to do with this character, whomever that person represents for you. Okay? Somebody that you think has a higher authority. Okay? But then there's somebody else in the picture who's saying, you know what they're saying ain't right. But also that you're going to have to embody that energy of the Emperor to remain balanced and focused so that you can do whatever it is you want to do. I just think it's a little hiccup. So that's what I have for you. Until next time, be well, stay safe, Taurus. Bye. Namaste. I won't see you guys again until next year. Okay, bye.